All right, the next thing we need to do is add structural columns. Our columns are going to go from the ground floor to the second floor framing and from the ground floor to the upper roof. We also have to delete some that we put in place so that we can have our gymnasium area open. Unless you know your design is going to include some columns that go up to there, but you won't need that, so we'll deal with that later. All right, so we're going to start with our ground floor, and this is north and south, and then east, or it's never eat soggy waffles. Okay, so east is over here. So we want to make sure that our bearings are correct. And what we talked about is this area is going to be 2-story, this area is going to be 1-story, this area is going to be open. All right, so we're going to go to architecture and we're going to choose columns. Okay, and it's going to show that we have 2 columns right now, 10 by 33 and a 10 by 49, and neither one of these is the one we want. So we're going to choose load family. And we're going to find the folder called structural columns. And then in this, it has several different kinds. We're going to go to steel. And then the very last one is W wide flange. So we're going to open that one. And it should open up like this. And we want to find the one that says W16 by 67. So I'm going to scroll through this list and find exactly that one. You want to make sure you have a selection. You don't want to load all of these into your model. All right, so we're going to choose the one that says 16 by 67. This means it's basically a 16-inch square at the bottom. And then for every linear foot of this column, it's adding 67 pounds. So 67 pounds for every linear foot. This is a beefy column and it will hold up anything we put on it. So we're going to choose this one only and then click OK. All right, we're still in structural columns. We have the correct one selected here. And we're going to choose vertical columns. And then we're going to, you could go through and click every one of these intersections. That's a lot of clicking. It has a tool here that lets us do all of these at once. So we're going to click on that place by grid or at grid intersection. I'm going to go up to the very top left and click and drag across my entire grid and then hit my check mark. And it's going to say none of these were created in your view because if you look, they are unconnected and they're 9 feet deep. So that's okay because we're going to go change these anyway. So after that, we're going to hit escape a couple of times and we're going to go to our 3D view. We haven't added that yet, so let's do it now. Go to the default 3D view. And you can see we have all of these columns. I'm going to rotate this a little bit. So I'm going to make sure I can see my north, east, south, and west to keep my bearings correct. So the top of my page is north. And we're going to choose all of these by left clicking and dragging. And then we're going to go fix some things. Base level should be ground floor. That is correct. Our upper level, let's put it all of them to second floor framing and make this 0 on the base offset. All right. Now you can see we have a little field of columns. On the detail level, I'm going to go ahead and change this to fine. And we're going to do that everywhere we go on these elevations here in just a moment. All right. If we recall from what we talked about in the previous video, we have a section that's going to be 2-story and a section that's going to be 1-story. So right now we've got 1-story covered. The section that's going to be 2-story is this group here. And I just want, so I did a left click at the bottom right and selected the first 3 rows, making sure that I only got the columns, okay? And we're going to make those go not to the second floor framing, but to the roof framing or upper roof, okay? And now we've got that set to the second floor. So if we kind of pan around this a little bit, you can see we have some tall ones and we have some that are on first floor. And then the other thing I want to point out is these 9 columns right here are in our open space. So I'm going to left click and drag across these 9, and I'm going to hit delete. All right. So now we have our 2-story section, we have our green roof section, and then we are going to have our gymnasium section here. And that is where we need to be right now. I'm going to go up here and hit save. The other thing we want to do is let's go fix our elevations. Open each elevation on the detail level, choose fine, and you'll see that way you can see the girders. Otherwise, it's just going to show a line. Do that to all of your elevations. So this is what it should look like when you're done. All right. Thanks for watching.